Critical metals skyrockets 70% on report of possible U.S. government equity stake. The discussions center around converting a $50 million Defense Production Act grant into an ownership position, which would represent about 8% of the company. Critical metals Tanbreez mine in Greenland is one of the largest rare earth deposits in the world. In addition, the U.S. Export-Import Bank is reportedly considering a $120 million loan to support development costs estimated at $290 million. AMD soars 25% on AI deal with OpenAI, issues 160 million share warrant tied to $600 target. The agreement covers the deployment of 6 gigawatts of AMD GPUs over several years under a multi-generation partnership. As part of the deal, AMD issued OpenAI a warrant for up to 160 million shares, which will vest upon meeting performance milestones. According to Bloomberg News, one of those tranches is linked to AMD's stock price reaching $600.
USA Rare Earth soars 14% after CEO confirms talks with Trump administration. USA Rare Earth shares surged more than 14% on Friday after CEO Barbara Humpton told CNBC that the company is in close communication with President Trump's administration. The talks reportedly focus on strategic supply chain initiatives and potential partnerships related to rare earth production.
We'll build giant AI data centers in space within 20 years, Jeff Bezos. Amazon chairman Jeff Bezos predicted that massive solar-powered data centers could be built in space within the next 2 decades. Speaking at Italian Tech Week, Bezos said, "One of the things that's going to happen in the next, it's hard to know exactly when. It's 10+ years, and I bet it's not more than 20 years. We're going to start building these giant gigawatt data centers in space." He added that space offers a perfect environment for AI training clusters due to uninterrupted solar power. There are no clouds and no rain, no weather. We will be able to beat the cost of terrestrial data centers in space in the next couple of decades. Tesla to reveal budget Model Y amid EV tax credit loss. Archer rides the hype. Tesla is expected to unveil a lower-cost version of its popular Model Y SUV on Tuesday, October 7th, in an effort to offset the impact of expiring EV tax credits, according to Bloomberg. The upcoming model will reportedly feature fewer premium materials and omit some features to reduce production costs. Bloomberg's sources said Tesla has re-engineered the Model Y's battery pack and motor to achieve the price cut. The announcement follows a cryptic teaser video posted by Tesla on X, showing a vehicle with illuminated headlights and the date, October 7th. Shares of Archer Aviation also surged to their highest level since July, amid market speculation that the eVTOL aircraft maker could be linked to Tesla's upcoming reveal.
OpenAI brings apps to ChatGPT. Figma, Zillow, and Canva go live inside the AI chat. OpenAI introduced a new way for users to interact with ChatGPT with the launch of Apps SDK, which provides access to various apps directly within the ChatGPT dialog window. One of the first examples used was Figma, whose stock surged 10% by the end of the keynote. Several apps are available today inside ChatGPT, including Figma, Canva, Zillow, and Coursera. OpenAI plans to release more in the days and weeks ahead, such as Expedia, DoorDash, and Booking.com. OpenAI also launched an agent builder and an updated codex, further expanding ChatGPT's developer and productivity capabilities.
SERV Robotics hits milestone with 1,000th autonomous delivery robot. SERV Robotics announced the deployment of its 1,000th third-generation autonomous delivery robot, marking a major milestone in its nationwide rollout. The company said it deployed over 380 robots in September alone and remains on track to reach 2,000 units by the end of 2025 as it expands across U.S. communities.
Electrovaya expects record Q4 revenue. Electrovaya expects record Q4 revenue of over $20 million, up approximately 72% year-over-year, driven primarily by battery system deliveries for material handling, a major construction vehicle OEM in Japan, and multiple robotic applications. For fiscal year 2025, the company anticipates approximately $64 million in revenue, or approximately 43% year-over-year increase. Full audited financials for fiscal 2025 are expected in the first half of December 2025.
NVIDIA anchors $2 billion in Elon Musk's $20 billion XAI funding. Elon Musk's AI startup XAI is securing $20 billion in funding through an innovative mix of equity and debt tied directly to NVIDIA GPUs. According to Bloomberg, the deal includes $7.5 billion in equity, with NVIDIA investing up to $2 billion and $12.5 billion in debt structured through a special purpose vehicle. Instead of borrowing directly, the special purpose vehicle will take the loan, buy the GPUs, and lease them to XAI for 5 years. The arrangement is unique, as the deal would be backed by the GPUs as opposed to the company. The chips themselves act as collateral. This approach lets XAI access massive computing power without over-leveraging the company. The financing supports XAI's upcoming Colossus II data center.
US greenlights NVIDIA AI chip exports to UAE. Bloomberg. The US has approved billions of dollars in NVIDIA AI chip exports to the United Arab Emirates as part of a major bilateral artificial intelligence agreement, Bloomberg reported. In return, the UAE committed to match those imports with equivalent investments in the US, aligning with its broader pledge to invest $1.4 trillion over the next decade. QuantumScape builds momentum with Murata and Corning in solid-state push. QuantumScape announced a joint development agreement with Japan's Murata Manufacturing to advance high-volume production of ceramic separators for its solid-state batteries. The deal follows last month's partnership with Corning to co-develop ceramic separator manufacturing capabilities for its solid-state lithium metal batteries.
Rocket Lab soars to record high after securing multi-launch deal with Japan's IQPS. The agreement includes 3 dedicated Electron missions, set to launch no earlier than 2026 from Rocket Lab's Launch Complex 1 in New Zealand. Rocket Lab noted that the 3 additional missions bring the total number of upcoming launches for IQPS to 7. The company also noted it has ramped up production and launch cadence to support more than 20 missions in 2025. Trump administration eyes even deeper $12 billion cuts to clean energy projects. The potential cuts target grants approved under the Biden administration, including 2 major direct air capture hubs, one developed by Occidental's 1.5. Other funding cuts on the list includes GM's $500 million grant to retool its Lansing Grand River plant for electric vehicle production, Stellantis's $335 million to convert its idled Belvidere plant for EV production, and $250 million to transform an Indiana transmission plant into an EV module manufacturing facility. The list also included Volvo's $208 million heavy-duty truck program, Harley-Davidson's $89 million EV motorcycle expansion, and Blue Bird's $80 million electric school bus initiative. Cummins' $75 million grant to convert existing manufacturing space to build zero-emissions components is also on the list.
Critical Metals signs 10-year offtake agreement with RE Alloys for 15% of Tanbreez production. Critical Metals announced a 10-year offtake agreement with US-based rare earth processor RE Alloys for 15% of annual production from its Tanbreez project in southern Greenland. This deal follows a prior agreement in August with UCOR Rare Metals, which secured 10% of the project's output.
U.S. soybean farmers face collapse without China as buyer. U.S. soybean farmers are facing serious financial strain as they harvest near-record crops without their largest buyer, China. Once responsible for over half of the $24.5 billion U.S. soybean export market, Chinese demand has collapsed, shrinking local prices and mounting uncertainty for farmers. Illinois farmer Ron Kindred warned that prices will collapse without a trade deal, noting that while he has contracts for 40% of his crop, the remainder is exposed to falling prices. From January to August, Chinese imports of U.S. soybeans totaled just over 200 million bushels, down from nearly a billion in the same period last year, as China turned to Brazil and Argentina. Washington is considering a $10 to $14 billion bailout, partially funded by tariffs. The financial strain is severe. Farmer Rob Ewalt said his operation requires about $1.3 million each year just to cover debt and expenses. Others are exiting altogether. Illinois farmer Dean Buckholz, facing rising costs and low prices, said 2025 will be his final season. NHTSA launches probe into Tesla's FSD after reports of crashes and traffic violations. The U.S. National Highway Traffic Safety Administration has opened an investigation into 2.88 million Tesla vehicles equipped with the company's full self-driving system after receiving over 50 reports of traffic law violations and multiple crashes. The agency said it received reports of Tesla vehicles using FSD driving through red lights and traveling in the wrong direction during lane changes. The probe, which covers 58 reports including 14 crashes and 23 injuries, marks the first stage before a potential recall if NHTSA finds an unreasonable safety risk. The agency will also examine how FSD performs near railroad crossings, following concerns raised by Senators Ed Markey and Richard Blumenthal. The investigation comes just 2 days after Tesla began rolling out a new FSD software update.
DoorDash taps SERV Robotics for multi-year autonomous robot delivery across the US. The rollout begins in Los Angeles, where customers can now place orders via the DoorDash app from participating merchants to have their order delivered by a SERV robot.